far-right extremism to be included in official terror warnings alongside Islamist threats for first time.
Here's a summary of the article.
The growing threat from extreme right-wing terrorism will be included in official threat level warnings for the first time, the Home Secretary has announced. Until now, the alerts, which tell the public if the risk is low, substantial or critical, have taken into account the threat of attack from Islamists only. The change follows growing recognition of the rising threat from the far right, since the murder of 50 Muslims in Christchurch, New Zealand, in March. While the Islamist threat remains, we have recently seen an increase in terrorist activity motivated by the extreme right wing. The additions do not affect the current threat level, which remains at severe, meaning an attack is highly likely. Until today, the threat level system described the threat from international terrorism, which had become largely synonymous with Islamist terrorism. As far back as March, Theresa May's spokesman noted a pattern of concern that the threat from the far right is on the rise.
This post received a score of 70,163, with an upvote ratio of 80%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I wonder how many people have actually read the article and seen that this is about the UK?
I mean, the flare says UK, but let's be real, most Redditors probably didn't even read that.
As a Redditor, I'm just here for the pictures. I can't even read.
What did he say?
Boy, girl equals prohibited open book page with curl input Latin letters ing button boy, girl equals.
Ah, cool, thanks.
If you support, propagate or engage in unprovoked violence against other people to either promote or subdue an ideology, you should be on a terror watch list. It's not that difficult. Edit, I'm putting you all on a watch list for committing violence on my inbox.
Greater than if you support, propagate or engage in unprovoked violence. It goes way beyond violence. It is the denial of basic human rights.
Violence can be defined as. With this definition, it's definitely a both and kinda thing.
Yay, fuck that definition. I could make an argument for literally anything being violence.
No, you can't. Crap, I'm sorry.
Come see the violence inherent in the system.
You can't expect to wield extreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you.
I mean, if I went around saying I was an emperor just because some moistened bint had lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away.
Will you shut up, bloody peasant?
I mean, Islamic extremists are right-wing extremists.
If you look at the end they want, it's essentially the same thing, but with a different, real religion.
Religions arguing and killing each other all over differences in what way you should be good in order to go to heaven. LOLLLLLLL, the irony.
Seems like a lot of the religious just want a platform from which to judge and hate people. They don't seem all that genuinely interested in being good people themselves.
To be honest, this is nothing new. The more I learn about medieval Europe, the more I realize that the papacy was a political thing and had little to do with being pious. Looking at Pope John XII and also the general bizarreness of the Cadaver Synod, among other things.
Yeah, I did a deep dive into traditions, the ecclesiastical court and a bunch of stuff a while back, and Catholicism is fucked up. I never liked Catholicism to begin with, but the more you look into it, the more weird and completely absurd it becomes. It really is near the top of the world's worst religions.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the only confusing thing about the Protestant Reformation why it took so long to happen.
Waldensians, Lollards, Hussites, Cathars, etc. all occurred before Luther.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.